Hello everybody, this is Marcus with the Refined Palate. Today we're going to be cooking our chicken and also we're going to be cooking rice with it, which is kind of a separate thing, but I'm going to call this sloppy cooking and you'll see why once we get to it. So I get my chicken. I think we got some chicken thighs here. I always rip off the skin. I don't like the skin, it's fatty and it kind of screws with the taste, so I make sure I rip off the skin off the chicken so that way the meat has a chance to absorb the spices. So I'm going to take the chicken and throw it right on in. And it's 2 breasts. We're going to put it, let's see, on temperature 6 on the stove. And we're going to go over seasoning right now. So for seasoning, we are going to start with a red wine. Like I say, Merlot. We're going to use a Merlot to put on the chicken while it's warming up. I'll just put a little bit of the red wine on both pieces to get it just enough on there. Next, to season our chicken, we are going to get some soy sauce. Let's see, I think any type of soy sauce should work. We're going to sprinkle some soy sauce on the chicken. Not too much, maybe like a shot glass worth of, I'd say a shot glass worth of soy sauce. Probably 2 or 3 shot glasses of the red Merlot. Next we are going to be using the vinegar, the black darker vinegar. So we're going to take our dark vinegar and we are going to put it on the chicken as well. I'd probably say half a shot glass of the vinegar, a little more, but pretty much half a shot glass. You don't want too much, just half a shot glass. And then next we will take probably a tablespoon or half a tablespoon of salt. A little more, that's about a tablespoon. You don't want to over salt it. Since it's actually 2 pieces, usually I cook bigger amounts of food. So I'd say for 2 breasts we're probably going to use a half a tablespoon or teaspoon of salt. I'm a terrible cook. I don't know what the difference is between a tablespoon and a teaspoon. Who the hell knows? Honestly, I hate cooking. I don't know how to cook. I hate it, but I cook it because I can cook some stuff like really good. So we got our salt on there. Next ingredient will be the black pepper. I usually get them in tins. The crushed pepper, the stuff that you have to twist. It takes forever and you don't get enough and you're just sitting here for like 2 minutes trying to get some pepper. So make sure you got some bulk pepper ready to go. And we're going to put a fair amount of black pepper on it. Make sure you cover the chicken. Not too much, just enough. You don't want to overwhelm it with spiciness with the pepper. Got our pepper, our salt. We're going to put on our, let's see, onion powder and garlic powder right here. Onion powder, garlic powder. And then we will add our basil and parsley onto the chicken. A little bit of basil. A little bit of parsley. And that's all the ingredients right there. I like to cook with a fork a lot of the times. I don't really like spatulas when handling meat. I like to cook with a fork. It's easier to hook it and flip it, hook it and flip it. And we're just waiting. We'll put our top on real quick to bring up the heat in there. Stir it around, flip it back a little bit. Probably want to cook it maybe on like about 8 right now. So we got it cooking for a little bit here. We will take the top off and take a look. Give it a flip here and there. So usually when I cook this, I usually cook about 6 pieces of chicken or so. So my measurements might have been a little over, but we're trying to do that. So when cooking the chicken, like if you're bad at cooking, which I am, pretty bad, well, not that bad on this dish, but when you're cooking chicken and you don't know if it's done, what I like to do is I just take a fork and a knife. I like to cut down the center of it. I like to just cut down the center of it, and you can see it's still pink. And this is my technique, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut probably slices all throughout the chicken. I'm going to go from left to right. I'm just going to cut a whole bunch of slices in it. What that does by cutting slices of chicken, cutting the chicken down the middle and all over, is it makes it so the juices can flow in there, and it helps it cook quicker. So I'm going to go from left to right and cut down the middle of the chicken, slice after slice after slice. Like I said, that lets the juices get in, lets the spices get in, lets the flavors get in when you slice it down the middle, both sides. And it speeds up the cooking process pretty quickly here. Got it a little too high, it's starting to caramelize a little bit. It's rapidly getting cooked way quicker because of the slicing I did on the chicken. And when you do your slices on the top and bottom, left to right, when you flip it, another thing that it helps you do is it helps you identify if the chicken is either pink or done. Another way to notice if chicken is still cooking is sometimes if you stab it with a knife, like a little slit, or stab it with a fork, you'll start seeing blood pour out. Like I said, use the technique I'm using. Slice it up and down, side to side. Kind of gives it a little bit of a shredded type, shredded chicken, shredded whatever. Another thing is you could actually shred it up into like chicken teriyaki type slices, or just small little strips of chicken also, and cook it this way. I just sometimes like to cook it in whole breasts and less work. We are going to add a little bit of water, a little bit of wine. It's drying out way too much. So it starts drying up, give it some more water, some more wine. Stir it around, get the flavors in there and the crevices that we cut open in the chicken. There we go. It's a little bit caramelized now. We got it cleared up by adding some more water and wine. Yeah, looks like it's getting pretty dang close to being done cooking. Like I said, if it's starting to burn or caramelize, just add some more water and wine and just flip it and stir it around. It's starting to get done here. We'll take it out. Okay, so this is where the tricky part comes in. We're not only just cooking our chicken recipe, we're doing our sloppy cooking recipe also with the rice. So we're going to take our chicken out of the pan. Well, let's put it on low first. Let's put it on really low and probably take it off the burner for the second. So what we're going to do is we're going to take our chicken And we're going to put it on the plate. There we go. As you can see, the chicken is very delicious looking. Caramelization and overall very good color. It's well done. Looks beautiful. Now the next part is you're going to take this, put it on low. We're going to grab our rice. We're going to grab our rice that we were cooking earlier. And we're going to take our pan. Now this is where it gets sloppy. We're going to take the sloppy leftovers from the chicken, the sloppy seconds, and we're going to take the rice and we're going to throw the rice right on top of those sloppy seconds. Alright, so we're going to take all this rice here. What I like to use is the jasmine rice from Costco. Jasmine rice is a very good type of rice to use. A very good consistency and it has a good taste. Not too chewy. It keeps the rice kind of has a harder chew, like an al dente. So we're going to use our spatula here, and we're going to just stir the rice around in the sloppy leftovers of the chicken. I should actually get over to getting a stirring spoon right now. Here's the stirring spoon. We will stir up the rice in the leftover chicken juice. And you always want to make sure the chicken's well done before doing this, or your beef or your pork. You can also use this method with beef or pork also. Beef, pork, chicken is just what I call a sloppy cooking recipe. And what you're doing is you're taking the juices, the flavor, the seasoning, and you're spreading it throughout and stirring it into the rice. Stir it around. Keep it on low. And then there's another part to this. It depends how big of a batch you cook of rice. We're a pretty small batch here, so it's doing pretty well. Good sized batch. Stir it up. We're going to add a couple things to the rice now to make it a little bit better. So this is what you add to the rice. What we're going to add is we're going to add some fish sauce. Some very good fish sauce. We're going to sprinkle it over. Not too much, to kind of spread it all throughout. Give it a good stir. Okay. Now we're going to give it a test. So we're missing a couple ingredients. We're going to give it another dab of the fish sauce for extra flavor. We're not going to do too much. You can overwhelm the rice sometimes. We're going to put some garlic powder, onion powder, a little more. Garlic powder, onion powder. We're going to put some pepper. Put some pepper. Some basil and some parsley throughout. And then, yeah, there's the parsley. So once you put your basil, parsley, garlic, onion, and pepper on it with your fish sauce, you give it another stir. Just stir it around. And after you stir it, we're going to test it. And the make it and break it with the rice here, the rice dish, is you got to really get down the fish sauce when you cook this. You got to at least try it, taste test it, and work with the fish sauce. You want the fish sauce to bring out a lot of the flavor within the rice. And so that's my second drizzle of fish sauce. I'll stir it up pretty good here with our spices. And we're going to give it a try. Okay. I said the spicing is pretty good. Depending on your taste, if you like a little bit more fish sauce or a little bit less. I'm going to do a very light sprinkle, a third very light sprinkle. I don't want to do too much more because I think we're getting to that point where it's perfect. Well, that was more than a little sprinkle. That was a normal sprinkle, I guess. So the third sprinkle of the fish sauce should make for a perfect dish of rice. Perfect. We have reached perfection with the rice here. I say the magical number 3 of sprinkling your fish sauce on will give us the perfect taste for our rice. So that brings us to serving it up onto our plate. As you notice, it's brown. Usually depends if you're cooking the chicken or the steak or the pork and what spices you use. Usually when I cook it, it's not this dark, but it's turned out pretty well. So right here, I should have cooked way more chicken than rice. We have our very delicious dish. And this is our dish. This is Marcus with the Refined Palate. Thank you for tuning in, and I look forward to seeing you on the next video. Go ahead and enjoy this dish. I know I will. Thank you.